Hey guys, be with you in 2 minutes. Hey guys, just let me know if you can hear and if the sound's okay. Just drop it in the chat box, um, and we will start to look at the market. It's been pretty kind to us so far this morning. For those of you that are in the live stream this morning with me, fantastic. We've made some decent pips already. Now it's just a matter of what the market can bring this afternoon. So if you can just drop in the chat box, guys, if the sound is working. Mr. Higgins, good afternoon, Squire. Okay, so live stream, first one on YouTube. So let's hope it's a good one. Okay, so first and foremost, guys, anything that I do today is for educational purposes, and it's what I'm doing on my own account. This isn't financial advice. This is just exactly how I trade. As you can see, heading disciplined trading every day. We have to approach the market in a set manner. If you're going to approach the market as a gambler, then expect the same outcomes as 99% of all gamblers, which is the house always wins. So we need to create an edge, and how do we create that edge? Ultimately, I'm a price action trader. I trade through two specific times, which is the London Open or European Open and through the US Open. As you can see, I mark out my charts with news events that are coming that are going to affect the markets that I trade. And I also mark out the levels where I want to be long and short. And then I just need to wait for price to give me that opportunity. Hey, Jody. Hey, Gandalf. So now these are the levels that I marked out this morning. Since then, the market's obviously moved, and we've done what we needed to do. We've got some pips out of the market. Now it's a matter of seeing what we can get next. So I'm just gonna remove this, can come off now. This one I'm just gonna readjust down to here. New structures being formed, so that's 25.73. So let's just amend this 25.73. So potential shorts underneath. Has the live started? Great question. It's 1 o'clock and the link is in the group. So yeah, the live has started. Um, Afternoon, Frankie. How are you, mate? So look, we've got big news coming out in just under 28 minutes. So we've got clear range here as well. Things we need to consider. Was can Sorry guys, people are having issues clicking the YouTube link. So things we need to consider, right? Every day we approach the market, and we need to think about, right, what is your bias for the day? A bias just means you will have a preferred direction that you think the market's going to go, and that could be based on price action. It could be based on some news that you think is coming out. But every day I'm going to have a bias on which way I think the market will go. Now, today's bias is probably a little bit contrarian, and whether it's right or wrong, I don't care because I will trade long or short on any day. It just has to meet my rules, but I will have a preference of which way I want the market to go. So today, the reason my bias is short and I say contrarian is if we look at the market, what has it done over the last few days? Well, listen, there's only four things that a market can do, a candle can do. If I was to just draw, I don't have Zoom opened. So essentially, let's just give you a very simple synopsis of what can happen. So if that was one candle, your next candle can either have a higher high and a higher low to the previous candle. It can have a lower low and a lower high. It can have a higher high and a higher low, or it can have a lower high and a higher low. It can't do anything else than that. That's the four different options, right? There's no other variable. So once you know that there's four variables for what a candle can do at any given time point, then we can reference it into how the candle closes and how the market will potentially move. So what we've seen is since September the 9th, we've seen what I would call uprange candles. So I would only use you can only see uprange candles. No, Simon, you can't use Zoom. It's on YouTube. So we're only seeing uprange, meaning each candle is producing a higher high and a higher low. Now, on that basis that we've moved roughly around $85 in a straight line, the basis of my contrarian thought is tomorrow we have FOMC. So FOMC is when the US Central Bank or Jerome Powell in person will announce their rates for the coming month and how they expect the dot plot to go towards the end of the year. So the markets are pricing in a 25 basis points cut tomorrow, and the market is also forward thinking that there's going to be two further cuts before the year end. Now, I'm not bothered about that because I'm a short-term trader, but what you have to think about is when there's a major news event, people who have bought down here or maybe even down here, they're not short-term traders. They're looking at longer-term moves and where they anticipate the market going. And they could be buying gold because they see that the BRIC index are trying to de-dollarize. They could be buying gold because of the tensions between Israel and Hamas. They could be buying gold because of the tensions between Ukraine and Russia and potential world war. They could be buying gold because what they think is happening with maybe China, Taiwan, and the US. There's so many different reasons why people could be buying gold. Ultimately, that profit that they've seen from down here to all the way up here is it's not realized profit. Yes, they may be looking in their profit with stop loss being brought up higher, but it's not realized profit until they become sellers. So when you have news events like tomorrow, this is where I'd anticipate, especially today or maybe through the London session tomorrow, we see a sell-off in gold ahead of Mr. Kumar. Good afternoon. So this is where I'd anticipate we see a sell-off in gold, so that it's not the market selling gold, it's people realizing profit on their gold trades, the longer term traders. So in order for them to realize their profits, they then become sellers. And this is where you'd naturally expect the market to potentially sell off. And that correction could come all the way down. So let me just get rid of some of these lines for now. That could come all the way down to, let's say, 25.30, 25.37, somewhere in this region. It may even, depending what the news is, come down and start a new trend and start selling off. Either way, what or it could even go to the upside, but this is why I anticipate the market to sell off. I expect traders to realize profits. And today has done something different, which is it's broken yesterday's low. And we've not seen that in any candle up until Friday, the 6th of September. So this is the first one for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the seventh trading day where we finally seen the market break a low. So now what I'm looking for is potential trading opportunities and structure to work with. So let's just, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to, this one can stay here, but I'm just going to get rid of all the support levels for now because these were from the London session, European session that I held with members this morning. So now what I'm going to try and establish is if I want to go long, where do I want to go long from? If I want to go short, where do I want to go short from? So main thing we've got to look for is clean traffic, clear space. So I'm looking to establish at least 10 points from the market before I get to break even. So if I'm looking price to break this support level, how much do I have down into this support level? So we've got, what's that, six? It's like 57 points, which is plenty of profit for me. I can definitely get substantial returns out of that. Drop down to the 30, yeah, happy with that. Now, something we could look at is price potentially coming back up to the top of the range where we could look for the market to sell off. So we've got big news as I stated. Let me just bring that back in. So I'm just going to copy. We've got big news at 1:30. We've got core retail sales and retail sales for the US, which is obviously going to have an impact on how gold's going to move today. Now, you would like to think that positive news for the US would send gold down, and negative news would send gold up. Now, the one thing you have to take into account with news is you don't know how traders are positioned in the market at any given time. Therefore, you can't take the fact that positive news is going to give a positive impact or a negative impact. So we can only look at the news, see how the market reacts, and then make a decision based on that. So right now, it's effectively we're going to sit on our hands for like 20, 21 minutes, wait for the news to come out, and then we can look for a trading opportunity. So my preference, if I'm going to get a trading opportunity, will be for gold to spike. I want gold to spike. Okay. I'd love it to come up and break through 25.89. So this is me planning my trade, and then it's a matter of whether that happens. We will then try and action what we want to trade. So idea is we have a spike up, then I see a rejection, and then I'll fade the rejection, look to sell it back down. That would be my ideal um, opportunity that I see in gold. So I want to see the market spike up, I want to see it reject, then I look to sell it. Does that make sense, guys? So this is what I'm going to look for. Now, if we break through here and stay above 25.89, then okay, we have to continue trading the trend. But that wouldn't be my favored move. Okay, like I said, I've got a bias coming in today, which is I'm looking for the market to sell off. How that happens, I don't know whether it does or it doesn't, but that's how I would want to trade it. So option one is we see a spike up into 25.89. We see a rejection, so the rejection could be just a seller candle, and then I wait for a wick up, and then we're going to sell it down. And we'll do all this, everything we do, guys, it's always live, it's in front of you. There's no hidden agendas here. As members, I think we've got a few members in here right now. They'll be able to concur with what I'm saying. So, like I said, this is the first live stream we've done on YouTube. This is that we can showcase a little bit of what we do. I'm not going to show you telephone numbers, as you'll probably see from some other traders out there that are showing millions and millions and trading hundreds of lots at a time. You'll see me trade between 6 and 10 lots. That's it. So you're not going to see telephone numbers, but what you'll see is consistency. You'll see discipline, and that is what will change you as a trader that isn't making money or not consistent. Is what will get you to be consistent. I am assuming that you are looking for a 30-minute candle. Um, in what sense? A rejection 30-minute candle? I'll trade at anything from the 15, 30, or 1 hour. So it all depends on what I see. A news candle, I'll trade a 5 minute, and that'll be slightly different. But you'll see that over a period of time. I'm going to do a couple of live streams on YouTube uh, each week. So you will start seeing me a little bit more frequently. So if you like what you see, please make sure you give it a like. If you like the live stream, please make sure you give it some likes, guys. The more likes it gets, the more beneficial it's going to be for you. I'll do more live streams, the more likes we get. Also, any comments will be much appreciated. Any feedback is always appreciated, good or bad. Um, and bad feedback, that's there to make me better, right? It's like anything. Um, if there's something that you think we can do better, we'd love to know. So yeah, we're just waiting for price to continue back up into at least 25.86. So this is is going to be where I want to sit. I won't take longs above here because I don't like the range, especially with the wick. So you've only got like 30 pips in here. If we get above this wick, you're taking that range down to 20 pips. It's just getting too tight, especially if you're going for a 10, 12 pip first target, just getting too tight. So what I would like is we get that big push acceleration as COMEX opens in 15 minutes as the news comes out. We get that big push. Ideally, I would love this candle to close a little bit higher, and that would mean that if we do push up on the next 15-minute candle, if we look to try and reverse the candle on the news, we can get a higher entry somewhere up here around 25.83. So that's what I'm looking for. We're going to see what happens. Expect a little bit of movement in the next minute or two, just on the basis that you're going to get people preempting what's going to happen ahead of COMEX opening, which is the commodity exchange in 15 minutes. While we're waiting for the market to give us some clues, I'm just going to head over to the Nasdaq, see what we can find over here. So let's take a look at the daily. Let's close all. Let's delete all levels. Okay, so we had the huge day on 9/11 where the market sold off initially through the early hours and then pull back all its losses and then finish significantly in the blue. Now, if you look at the Dow on that day, the Dow went down about 700 points to finish over 130, 140 points up on the day. So a huge shift in sentiment, which is why we expected the market to follow through and continue up to its next structural point somewhere around here, which is 19.6. Now, if you are going to trade the Nasdaq or any of the indices, just remember when you're looking at TradingView, the prices will vary significantly. Okay, so when you are trading the Nasdaq or indices, always check your broker for price. Don't just go blind on what we're seeing on the charts here because they will vary significantly. So structuring here, let's drop down to the 4 hour. Okay, so 4 hour, we are breaking 35. Okay, so there is space depending on what we see. 4 hours support in here and next support level through here. We do have this to watch out for. Let's drop down to the hourly. Okay, so slight adjustments need to be made. We can bring this into here and support through there. So if I'm looking for short below 19,417, I'll call it 416, give you a little bit of extra wiggle room. Okay, long opportunity. There is a long opportunity on the Nasdaq, which is 19,575. That's 25, 42 points. So there is a potential order here, guys, which is this. Okay. So let me just check. 43 points. Okay, I'm good with that. Um, I'm gonna place this order, guys. So let me just go to Nasdaq. Let's see what the deal is on my broker. So Nasdaq is looking good for potential order, but I just need to bring in. Okay, so I'm gonna have just let me just target will be 19,623. All right, I'll bring up my deal ticket in a second. Let me just bring in pending order. Okay, so that looks okay. So we're gonna do 40 lot. So trading new order. Okay, so this is how the order is gonna look based off my broker data. It's not gonna be a market execution. So I'm gonna stick with the Nasdaq as opposed to gold right now. So the the high on my broker is 19560.77. So I'm gonna put in 19562. 19562. I'm only looking for 40 points. Uh, is it big even handle? So 19600. Let me just check. 19602. 40 points. Stop loss is going to go underneath the low of the current hourly candle, which is 19500. If it triggers, okay, so orders just placed. All right. Okay, so there you go. There's the numbers if you want to see what I'm doing. Like I said, this is just purely for educational purposes. This is me trading on my account. You will see it. Like I said, everything is live. There's no hidden agendas. Yep, pound yen, Nasdaq. Yeah, Nasdaq is the one for me. So let's see what the news is. We've got what, 10 minutes. Um, Price is currently 30 33 points away from entry price and dropping. Now, remember the news that's forecasted today is actually forecasted bearish for the US dollar. So the impact in theory could go either way. It's, retail sales the, being bearish for the US dollar in theory should benefit indexes, and the reason being it'll put more pressure on Jerome Powell and the central banks to cut rates or cut future rates. So if we are going to see that kind of movement, then in theory, I would expect that to be positive for indexes. Does that make sense, guys? Any questions so far? Okay. So yeah, we've got 9 minutes. Just let me know if you've got any questions, guys. Let me know if there's any charts you want to have a look at, anything that's of interest to you. And then what we can do is we can if there's any charts you want to share, just put it in the chat, send the link of the chart, and I'll pull it up and we'll have a quick look at that chart while we're waiting for this news to potentially play out and give us a potential setup. Now, so I'm just having a quick. Okay, so. Uh, from a longer term perspective, there's a few other things that I believe are very good to have in your toolkit. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to impact my day trading, but something to look at is commitment of traders. So the commitment of traders basically looks at how commercials are positioned in the marketplace, and if you want to have a look at who moves the market more than anyone, it's commercial traders because around 60 to 65% of all financial transactions are business orientated, meaning they are used for businesses to facilitate transactions as opposed to speculative purposes like what we're trying to do now. So right now we're trying to make a return on cash, whereas businesses are just trying to get the best rate to do something to complete their transaction, which may in turn give the business a better P&L at the end of the quarter or at the end of the financial year. So what they're always looking to do is buy something cheaper that they're going to manufacture or produce, and they'll buy more of it. Whereas you and I, for example, let's say we see gold and we see it's continually going higher, our bias will be to buy more of it and continue trading with the trend. Whereas a commercial entity will be, let's say it's a gold mine. They're wanting to sell more of it because they're realizing more profits. Okay. If it's Starbucks, they want to buy more coffee the cheaper it gets because that's going to realize more profit in a cup of coffee sold. So commercials have a very different way of looking at the market to the way that we do. But one thing I can tell you right now is in terms of the way commercials are positioned, there's two markets that are very, very interesting. One is the Japanese yen. Okay, the Japanese yen is very interesting on the basis that commercials have increased their short contracts from around 70,000 contracts to 290,000 in the last 11 weeks, and they're at an all-time extreme high. So that's a significant statement from commercial traders. And then the other one that's very interesting is the Swiss franc for a similar reason. They've increased their short contracts to by 74% from last week to this week. So on that basis, we are seeing commercial traders actively selling Japanese yen and Swiss franc. So if you are a trader that likes to trade multiple assets, multiple currencies, then I'd be looking at selling yen and I'd be looking at selling the Swiss franc, or just on the basis of what commercial traders are doing. Now, it doesn't mean that they're automatically going to sell off instantly, but what it does mean is that if you apply technicals and start looking for a shift in sentiment, there's going to be some potentially massive moves there. So we've got about 5 minutes to go now until the next, until news comes out. So in about 2 minutes time, I'm going to pull this deal ticket down because if it triggers, then I just need to adjust from my side, and I'll need to bring up a live ticket to do that. Saying that I can use who have we got in? Okay, so guys, one thing I would like to see is can someone give the session a like? Because I'm just curious if I can actually see it on this side. I want to know what happens if someone likes the session. Do I actually see anything, or can you do that? I don't know if you can do that. Has anyone given it a thumbs up or said that they like the session? Because I'm just trying to work out what I can and can't see from this side. Okay, you just liked it. Okay, I have no idea then. I can't see anything. Okay. Richard has, Jody has. Okay, yeah, I've absolutely no idea. So I don't see that. Okay, no worries. Thanks, guys. I guess this is work in progress from my point of view. But thanks for doing that, guys. Much appreciated. Okay, I just thought I would, but don't know how to click like or how to interact. All right. Yeah, I guess thanks, Mr. Kumar. I'm guessing I've never seen it from the other side. I'm guessing it's just a heart button or a thumbs up. I really don't know, so I do apologize, guys. Um, like I said, it's purely uh, a brand new experiment for me. So we're waiting now. We've got 3 minutes to the news. Price is coming pretty close to entry price. So we are about 20, 23, 24 points away from entry. Let's have a look, see what's going on with gold. Oh, there we go. Okay, so gold's just turning around a little bit. Nothing, nothing much. Uh, what's happening with pound yen? So pound yen, we want to be long above 186.60. I mean, to be fair, if you get a nice clean move above 186.08, you've got, in fact, that's if you see pound yen above 186.09. Oh, I'd be interested in long above there, but I'll only trade one market at a time. So that's what I'll be looking for, guys. Either that or this. But we have. We have 2 minutes for the news, and let's see what happens. See if we get triggered on the Nasdaq. So do I have to smash the like button? If you can, Jody, that'd be appreciated, buddy. So yeah, let's see what happens. 1 minute. Expect a bit of jitters, and then we'll have the usual. All right, let's see. How many seconds do we have? So 40 pip target in place. See what retail numbers come out. And there we go. So numbers should be out and we're in. Okay, 10 pips, 13 pips. Stops to or didn't quite get there. Right, we are in, and unfortunately I didn't get my trigger finger to break even quickly enough there. That was very close, guys. I don't if anyone's got the automatic setting, that would have been all right. So currently 24 pips down right now, and we are 15 pips down. Let's see how this market unfolds. Technically, let's get ready to take half off. Oh, hold on. Need to bring in the new ticket. So it's currently sitting 17 pips down right now. Let's see how we unfold. Be nice to start the live streams with a victory, but obviously we can't plan that. We can only do what we do, which is trade the technicals and see what happens. All right, let me see if the numbers have come out while I'm watching this. Uh, so still floating in and around entry 15, 16 points down. Okay, so retail sales came in at zero point 0.1, expected was minus zero point 0.2. Okay, so came in stronger than expected. Excluding autos 0 0.1. So yeah, they've beaten expectation, which uh, probably won't be so good for the markets. But again, like I said, you can never guess what's going to be how the market's going to react to positive or negative news. All we can do is we saw the market, it broke above structure, it had a nice pullback, and we've been triggered as it's broken the highs. Have I missed a chat? Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to find where the chat is. Okay, there we go. Is gold? I don't have a setup on gold, guys. There's no setup on gold. We are just heading back towards entry price right now. Only 9, 10 points down. So let's see how this unfolds. So at 20 points, I'm going to scale half out if we get there. So scaling half out means at 19,582 on my broker, which was very close to getting there. We're pretty much back at entry now. 19,582. I'm just marking it out on the chart. There we go. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit close half as soon as we get 20 points up. That's very presumptuous, isn't it? But we'll see. In, did anyone trade Nasdaq or gold after the news or during it? Is anyone in anything? So I'm long Nasdaq. Entry price was 19,562. So currently showing a loss of £749 at the minute. Yes, triggered by the news. So just remember it in terms of triggered by the news. This the news is just a catalyst. We would have been whether the news was bad, good, or indifferent. The market broke the highs, so that shows sentiment was there, and the initial candle move before the news was down. So from a technical perspective, I'm more than happy with where we currently sit. Um, if we look at this here, we see hourly candles broken up, candle wick down, 30-minute was a bearish candle, and then we've broken the highs. So we still have an uprange candle that's in formation right now. We've got what 25 minutes left of this candle. So like I said, I'm still more than happy and comfortable with this current trade at the moment. Um, things to consider. If this candle closes bearish at the end of the hour, but below our entry point, then you can close half of the position just to reduce risk. Okay, if it closes bullish and above our entry price, we've got nothing to worry about because we have an uprange candle, it's closed bullish and we're above our entry price. So there's two scenarios. One is it closes bearish and below our entry price. If so, we close half and reduce risk. If it closes bullish and above our entry price, we do nothing. We just move our stop from here underneath the low of the current candle. Because if it is an uprange candle and it's bullish, in theory, we shouldn't break the low. Because if we do, then I would expect the market to continue to move lower. So we sit tight. So currently the loss is £325 at the minute. It's so the loss is getting a little bit less, but like I say, it's open P&L, so we don't mind until we close it. Okay, so we are what 4 pips offside right now, so it's coming back quite nicely. Let's see if we can get to our first TP, and if we can close half and move stops to break even. So TP is 20 points. That's 19,582. So we're a couple of points in profit now. Not much. Back at entry price. So for those of you that are faint-hearted, there was an opportunity to get out for no loss and a slight bit of profit. Um, but this is, if I place a trade, I stick with the rules. So what we were, a whole £19 in profit. Gonna gonna put all that in my pension fund. So what we can do now, guys, is we can bring our stop loss up to, according to my broker, I'm going to bring it up to 19,516. So let me just delete this here, and then I'll bring up the deal ticket so you can see that I've moved my stop loss underneath the low of the current candle. So there you can see 19,516.36. So that takes my risk now to just under 1%, £1,382 should it go all the way to my stop loss. And unfortunately, we're seeing a little bit of a pullback right now, but let's have a look, see what's going on in gold while we're waiting for this to unfold. Okay, so gold, 30-minute candle, it's taken out the lows. If we can close below here on the 30-minute, I will look for another sell for sure. Um, But we have to wait for Nasdaq to play out because I'm not going to take two trades and have them running simultaneously. I can't manage it. So it's up to you guys. If you are going to place a trade and you're not in anything, then gold shorts, which obviously, as I told you, was my bias at the beginning of the day. That's what I'm looking for. Any questions so far, guys? We're about 13 pips down on the Nasdaq trade. Make that 15. Now, for news traders, this big sell-off in gold, if price breaks this 5-minute low, I'd be interested in selling that down to 66, getting 20 points out of it. So, but I have my Nasdaq trade running, so I'm not going to do it. So if price breaks its own low, I'd be interested in selling that. But that's what we'd be looking for. So Nasdaq right now is 18 points down. 18 points down, and we're going to focus on the Nasdaq. So what's happened in the early part? We've seen buyers try and push price up, and then again we failed to break the lows and we pushed price up. So look, ultimately, the hourly candle is still looking favorable for a move higher. The question is, like I said, how do we manage this? And ultimately, if this candle closes bearish, and it doesn't matter if it closes bearish, I close half. If it closes bullish, but it could be below my entry price, it could be above the high, anywhere there, I won't do anything other than leave my stop loss underneath the lows. Okay, so two scenarios is one, it closes bearish, I close half the position. Two, it closes bullish and I leave my stop loss underneath the lows. Okay, so that's two scenarios. What I'm going to do on the current trade and where we sit. So we've got 19 minutes left before I find out what I'm going to do in terms of trade management. Any questions, guys? Is anyone trading gold at the minute? Anyone in gold? And if so, how did you get in? How are you managing it? Don't be shy to share your charts, guys. Just click the copy link button and send it in the chat and I'll pull it up on the chart. Now, the one thing we do know is at 2:30 when indexes do open properly, there's going to be a significant move on this. Again, which way? I have no idea. Uh, Place sell stop on 5-minute flip on gold. Yeah, nice. Now, remember, it has to trigger in this 5 minutes. If it doesn't trigger in this 5 minutes, cancel the order. So Nasdaq is 22 points down at the minute, and in monetary terms, that's £661. So, like I said, it's not telephone numbers here, um, but it is exactly what we see. consistency. Some days are winners, some days are losers. But on the whole, we like to have a success rate in the region of around 75 to 82% is where we are in terms of success rate. Now, look, this 5 minute candle is getting close to the flip, but we've got what 1 minute left, Gandalf. So if it doesn't trigger in this next minute, then you have to think about how you're going to then manage the next uh, how you're going to manage it. I wouldn't then use a flip entry. I'd use the low of the previous candle if you still want to use the 5 minute. Yeah, Lyric Studio. I'm looking to short gold if the 15 minute falls below 69. I mean, look, we've got some clear structure we can work with, which is here at 71 off the 15. If we look at the 30, the structure's a little bit higher. So I think one thing that I'd do is if I'm going to look at this on a 30, you've got a huge wick here to potentially work with, but you've got 15 minutes to wait for the 30. So if the 30 closes and it closes below this support level, you can have a nice big strong bearish candle and you can have a big wick to work with. So if the next candle wicks up, you can look for the market to fill this range here. Okay, all right, Frank, thanks for the feedback. Looks like it may be a internet connection that Frank's suffering with. But thanks for the feedback, mate. I appreciate it. So, yeah, just you have to be patient, guys. Just remember, you're never gonna the market is never gonna move the way that we particularly want it. We just have to be disciplined in our approach, plan our trade, and trade our plan. That's it. And this is effectively what we're doing right now. If it finishes off with a win or a loss, then that's all we can do. But what it does, it goes down in the journal. We mark it off. A win's a win, a loss is a loss. But what did we learn from the loss? What did we learn from the win? Could we have managed the win better? Could we have managed the loss better? You know, the same process that we look at wins and losses is the same. We can learn something from every trade. So we've got 14 minutes now for this hourly candle to close, and Nasdaq is still jittering in and around what we 16 pips down on entry price, so nothing too crazy. It's been a little bit of a slow burner. We are at 0.67% on the day. Let's see what happens. So 13 minutes and potentially looks like we're going to be closing half of the position unless it takes us out for the full stop, which is down at 19,516. So I've got 24 points, 25 points down to the stop from current price. But as you can see, there's the stop 19,516.36. Let's get this ready in case we get up to our TP to close half out at 19,582. So either we close half out at 19,582 or we close half out on the fact that we might have a bearish close. So remember, I've told you exactly how I'm going to manage the trade. You'll see, I'll show you the stats. So let's just right, a little bit slower than I'd want to see. So look, you can see, I'll just bring this across right now so you can see here, current profit negative minus 631, 40 lots. There is the open price. Monthly stats here. You can see this month is pretty much a break-even month, uh, but that's where we're at right now. 11 minutes, guys. 11 minutes. Any questions about the live stream? Oh, just got the deal ticket. Where is it? Nice win on gold. Okay, Lee. Good man. Was that this morning or this afternoon after the news? And if it was after the news, what was your technique? So Nasdaq's starting to push up a little bit more now, but nothing significant. Uh, 2 ins to go. So 10 minutes, guys, 10 minutes for the hourly candle to close. And once it's closed, then we will make our assessment. 5 minute flip. Let's have a look. Where was the flip? The flip would have been because the news got what this one here, the 135 candle. If it was the 135 candle, that's fine. Pushed up, break of the low, fill the range. Lovely, Lee. Well done, mate. That's what I like to see. Well done. But just because you'd only just posted it, I thought you'd done it just about now. So lovely, great trade. Well done. Well, this Nasdaq trade's probably about as boring as it gets. Never is this one this boring. But we can't make it move, guys. We can't make it move as much as I wish we could. So I'm currently sitting 20 points down, which is £608. Wouldn't mind a nice strong 9 minute finish candle, 9 minutes to finish on this candle, but again, we're in the hands of the gods. Whatever it does, it does. And those that sweat and fret, they've usually risked too much. So it keeps sitting in around that 19,540, 19,545 price point. Now, this is my point, right? So if I look at the Nasdaq here, the price on TradingView is 19,555, and on my broker it's 19,546. So there's 10 points difference, which, you know, if you go off your prices based on TradingView, you're going to be potentially out of pocket significantly. Obviously, it could that could be the difference between you having a winning trade and a losing trade. So always look at the prices on your broker platform where you're trading from. So we're getting close again. Like I said, if this finishes bullish and not bearish candle, I'll leave the trade as it is. If it closes bearish, I will close half of the position. So you know exactly what I'm going to do, and you'll see me do it. So got the deal ticket ready, just in case. No, it would be cruel, wouldn't it, of the markets to give me a losing trade on the first live stream, but what can we do? 5.5 minutes, and we're starting to push positive. So this is where it's slightly bit different. So my broker is showing a slightly bullish hourly candle, and here we're seeing slightly bearish. Yeah, Jody, sod's law. Let's let's hope sod's law doesn't prevail. Let's hope there is the sun shining down on me. Anyone else had any internet issues or the stream slowing on them? So this one is taking its time. So what have we got planned for the rest of the day? I think from here, no, the stream has been okay, fantastic. That's what I like to hear. Any feedback from anyone, guys? Positive or negative would all be very much welcomed. So we're currently 4 pips from entry price right now. Stream has been fine. Thanks, Liam. If it wasn't for you, mate, I wouldn't have been able to set it up today. So much appreciated. All right, let's have a look at pound yen. So look, pound yen. So that if I wasn't in the Nasdaq, I'd be buying this now. As I mentioned earlier, that the commercials are massively selling yen right now. So this is a trade, but I'm not taking it purely on the basis that I don't have Nasdaq at break even or um, out of the trade at all. So if I was at break even and I'd taken some money off the table or I'd taken money off the table and the risk was pretty much zero, then I would have been looking at this. So 3.5 minutes left for this hourly candle to close. So going to be pretty touch and go whether it closes bullish. Like I say, mine is probably about 4 or 5 pips up on the open of the hourly candle. So if it stays as is, I won't do anything with it. I'm going to stay on the live stream until the end of this trade, however it fares. I think after this, I'll probably go for a bit of a run and then get ready for tonight's live stream. So, anyone got any charts to share? Or are you all in the same market? Lee, you still in here? Right. If you had something that what would you say, guys? Anyone in here now? What's your biggest block when it comes to trading? Is it finding entries? Is it trade management? Is it the discipline to not uh, tamper with your trades? Is it the discipline not to overtrade? Is it what would you say your biggest problem with trading is, and how do you intend on overcoming it? Hesitating to enter. Okay, so what do you reckon causes the hesitation to enter? There's usual there's a primary um, reason for this. Do you know what that'll be? So hesitating to enter is down to confidence. And confidence can only come from practice. And practice will generate a set of results. So practice doesn't necessarily mean perfect. Practice just means you're going to practice something. And whether you practice something good or bad just means you're either going to become very good at doing something bad, or you're going to become good at doing something okay, or you're going to become good at doing something great. So how do we overcome those things? And this is where journals come in, back testing comes in, and we then look at saying, right, okay, this is what happened, this is how I managed it, this is the outcome. So I was having a private coaching session yesterday with Richard, and I said, look, whatever anyone tells you about trading, their experiences, that's always going to be good. It's going to be insightful. You'll be able to get something from it. Look, it's closed bullish, so I'm not going to do anything with the candle, with my stop or trade management. But the one thing you're going to get more from than anything is your own book. So the best book you will ever read is the one that you write yourself. So meaning your journal, your experiences, they're the ones you're going to get the most out of because you've placed the trades, you know what you felt, you know why you did it, and then you saw the outcome. So it's up to you to do the journal. It's up to you to go over the potential management of that trade and so forth. So just be super, super disciplined. If it is something that you really want to do and succeed in it, you're going to have to put in some groundwork, and the hesitation will go once you've got confidence. Uh, Richard, placing stop loss too close and not letting the trade run. Okay, so letting the trade run, that's an easy one to overcome because your data will then show you, it's like medical testing, right? So when you medical test, the pharmaceutical companies will say this is the side effects you will have if you take this drug, or you could potentially have. And that's because they did how many thousands of people testing that drug, and on the back of it, 1% had this, 2% had that. So you know what the potential side effects are. Now, moving your stop loss too close, when you look at the data, i.e., the back testing of your trades and how they moved, you can then start to look at it and say, right, well, if I'd have moved my stop here, here, and here, this is what would have happened. And that will give you the confidence. You're much better having it too close and losing little at the beginning, letting the trade run. Well, don't worry about that. Bank as much as you can early doors. Once you've banked it, then you can say, right, afterwards, oh, that would have got me 500 points, or that would have got me 100 points, or that would have got me 20 points. Once you've got the data and you can see how your trade selection is and what you generally get from trading, then you can, right, say, I'm going to take a little bit of the trade off and I'm going to let that bit run and manage it according to the testing that I've done. So, guys, the issues that you've both explained are both very easily overcome. It's just a matter of time now. So we are sitting in profit now, not very much, but a little bit. So this is the thing with trading. You just got to let it go, and hopefully we take profits. So, oh, I was going to say I thought the chart looked. There we go. Okay, so currently a few points in profit, nothing significant. So, things you can consider here. Now, if you wanted to be really, really aggressive on this, once this candle breaks its own low, in theory, you could close half the position out. So, de-risk a little bit if you want. So, if price broke its own low, you're effectively gonna cost yourself 6 points. Now, the what's the benefit to that? The benefit to that is you're leaving uh, less risk in the marketplace after it's failed to continue to push higher. The downside to that is the last two candles, as you can see here, have produced higher highs and higher lows. And yes, it's closed bullish, but nothing significant. But because we have uprange candles, the market momentum over the last, 24 hours or so has been to the upside. I would therefore envisage that this market is going to continue breaking the highs until we see it break a low. So I'm sticking with this trade for now. If we break the high of this candle here, I will move my stop loss underneath the low of the current candle. Okay, so that's trade management for you. And to be fair, if it breaks the high of the candle, we've only got like 6 points to go until TP1 at 20 points. So price for me, 19,575, which is the high of this candle. If price gets here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my stop underneath the low of this candle. If price comes straight back to that high. So I'm just going to be a little bit aggressive should that happen. Probably the fear of losing a trade. Right, don't be afraid of losing a trade. Um, I know capital's involved, so where capital's involved, it's always going to have an impact on the way that we think because of dopamine, etc. But when we think about fear, fear is good because it means you shouldn't over risk. But if you think about, let's say, a boxer being in the ring, if he's afraid of being hit, that's a good thing in the sense that he doesn't want to be hit, so his defense is going to be on point, but he doesn't want to be afraid of being hit that he forgets to attack and basically forgets the process. So there's two different scenarios. Fear, to a certain extent, is good, but when it becomes the controlling element, then it's a bad thing. So still sitting in profit, guys. Like I say, in very little profit, all £8 of profit. But we're just waiting for a 20-point rally. What I mean, 20 points is not much to ask from the market. So basically, when price gets here to plus 169 on the day, according to TradingView, um, that would be that'd be our effective TP1. At 16 points, I'm going to move my stops underneath the low of the current hourly candle. But it is a slow burner today, very slow burner. Gold doesn't look like it's looks like it's sticking in the range. Uh, Pushing a little bit now, but nothing significant. Even the dog's huffing and puffing. If he's huffing and puffing, you know that there's not a lot happening. All right, 7 points. Okay, we're getting close to those highs now. 8 points. We're up 260 quid. Nothing, nothing that's. What's the price of that? 19,574.80. Okay, so another 8 points, guys. And what I'm going to do is I'll bring my stop right underneath the low of the current hourly candle. So if we push up somewhere in this region around 80, 85 on TradingView, I'm going to move my stop underneath the low. If price breaks the low, I'm going to close half. So there's two scenarios here. Oops, one is price breaks the low, I close half. The other one is it gets to around 85. I'm going to bring my stop underneath the low. Yeah, very steady, very steady pre-US Open. So we've got 22 minutes. So in 22 minutes, this 2:30 will definitely take us either to TP1 or stop loss. That's for sure. Now the question is how you want that to be, because on the Open we're going to see there will be a move. There will be a move and it will hit TP1 or it will go to our stop loss. So the best thing we can do in and around these situations is just before the news opens, I'm going to de-risk just before the news opens, just before the markets open at 2:30. So let's say at 2:27, what I'll do is I'll close half of the position. Close half the position and bring my stop up underneath the low. So we just give it, that's unless it hits TP1 prior prior to the markets opening at 2:30. Right. So up 7, 8 points now. So getting there. Okay, 9 points. Okay, so look, we're very, very close to the highs of that candle. So I'm just going to bring my stop right up, de-risk. So my stop on my broker is going to be at 19,550. So that is just a few points on. So look, if I take this down now and then I re-bring it back up, you'll see my stop loss is 19,551. So de-risked here significantly. Only we've got uh, I've got a total risk on the table now of 305 quid. Let's just oops. So just want to get this ready to close half. So we're up 8.5 points, 9 points right now. Getting out too early. Okay, getting out too early. What, you've just got out or you closed it earlier? Okay, we're 10 points up. So at any point, if I'm going to take money off the table, then what I will do is I'll also move my stop to break even. Okay, so we've got about 19 minutes left. Price is stalling a little bit, but still pushing to the upside. Oh, and there we are, back at our entry price. So quick pullback there. Okay, guys, after going 10 pips up and then pulling back to entry price, I'm going to close half right now. So I am, let's see, there we go. See if it just pops to entry price and I just close half. There we go. I closed half. So I reduced my risk. So look, if you look now, I've got closed half at my entry price. So let's take a look. In fact, I lost £5.30 there, guys. I lost £5.30. But this is just once we get so close to breaking the highs and targets, uh, last thing I want to do is give give capital away. So closest, if it breaks the low, I'm going to close it down. So getting very close. Currently, what, 55 quid down at the minute on this remaining half of the position. So if it gets back to my entry price, I am going to close it down on the basis that at 2:30 the market's going to gap probably one way or the other, and price might go down below my current stop, and I'll lose more than I'm prepared to lose. Which, if you want to make money in trading, the best thing you can do is preserve and protect your capital. So we just, after being 12 points up, came back down to our entry price. We closed a half out, and I've left half of the position to run, and giving it as much time as possible, or until it breaks the low of the candle. So, which is very, very close right now. Oh, and okay, so let's just see. Slight bit in profit. Okay, I've just closed it out, guys. I've just closed it out, so I've ended up making about, let's have a look, 12 quid on that. So today's trades are just going to screen grab it for you. In fact, uh, how do I change windows? In fact, I don't know how you change windows. So on that basis, let me just do this and see if I can. So there's today's trades. Copy. Let's see if it lets me post it in the chat. No. Start Q&A, start your poll. No. Okay, didn't allow that. So anyway, guys, that's the end of the session. We've come out break even. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be back on, what day is it? Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to come back on Thursday. Either Thursday or Friday, I'll do a live stream. But if you follow the channel, you'll get a notification. All right, guys. Any questions? Just fire it in now before I close off. And don't forget to click a few hearts. Get some. Okay. Closed. Nice one. Okay. Remember, don't be greedy, guys. One of the hardest things to do is close a trade when it's not in profit. So if you can do that and you notice that the market isn't doing exactly what you want it to do, just close half or close it all. Cut those losses as quickly as possible. Lovely. Thanks for chucking a few hearts in there, guys. Much appreciated. See you later on. Cheers, guys. Bye bye.